Okay, let's start with Physarum Feature Store. There are various ways to put it, but it's a layer between model and data. It orchestrates the different components which are required to provide data for production. So let's take an example of Uber. Like, how long does it take for a driver to come to your place? How do you display or surface that information in the app? Let's say data scientists have built a forecasting model, but the harder problem is how do you bring that data to the model to enable that forecasting? And in a production environment, we need to make this data reach to model with low latency and in a reliable way. So this is the problem that we're trying to solve with Feature Store. Before going into details, I'll just lay out the basic concepts which are there. So we have, if you look at the left panel, we have features, and which are essentially all the machine learning features which have predictive power or have been used in previous machine learning problems. Then we have data sets. These are the data sets which have been created by using one or more of these features. And then we have transformations. Transformations are essentially data pipelines which take raw data from, let's say, from data lake or a data warehouse and converts that into a machine learning feature. And then we have jobs which can be used to schedule these transformations so that we always have data populated in the platform. Now let's go into each step that how the feature store goes about solving the problem. So if we look at basically any of these features, we have two things, features and feature group. As we said before, features are created through these data pipelines. And if we go into feature group, now as I said before, each of these data pipelines will create a feature or more than one feature in most of the cases. The set of features created by each pipeline are called a feature group. Each feature group is associated with entities which are essentially the primary key of that particular group. So if you see over here 4 feature groups, now each of them could have one or more features within each of them. Now when we are creating a training data set, we can select any number of features even across the feature groups as long as they have a common entity which can provide a join key. So we can provide a certain basic description of the data set, the kind of data that the data name, data description, format of data, and destination, whether it is a GCS bucket or S3 bucket. And also we are creating a query which can be used to create this particular data set. And feature store is not just a catalog of machine learning features. When we are creating this data set, a copy of all these features in this particular data set are also made available for low latency prediction in Redis store, which will be used later to make online prediction. Now, if we think of a full-blown feature store with thousands of features and more compounding over time, you can imagine how it unblocks the work of data scientists by reducing your time to create training data set and easily making it available for production during the prediction phase. This is the problem that we're trying to solve of. The name feature store is a bit of a misnomer. It is not just storing data, but it is a data platform which is in the center between data and the model, which basically manages the operational data, which is specifically built for machine learning. So there are a couple of benefits associated with feature store. It allows author to ship new data features without engineers hand-holding. So the transformation allows us to create features. These can be created using drag and drop pipelines. It could be Airflow pipeline or a simple sklearn pipeline or a Spark pipeline or a Kubeflow pipeline. At the same time, we can also access data from various kind of sources like SQL, NoSQL, cloud storage, bucket. So it basically allows us to ingest data from all these sources and bring it to a single storage point that we are calling as feature store. So apart from that, it also provides a consistent access to data during both training stage and the prediction stage. So what are the benefits of it? So for smaller teams, it is about how to get data into production. Small teams don't care much about sharing, but the most important part for them, it creates a consistent access between the training and the model deployment. And since we are storing transformation, the same pipeline can be used to access data during the prediction stage and the training phase. Apart from that, there are certain features on data validation which allows us to have more confidence in the data which is being fed to the models. So there are various data validation checks that we can add on the basis of the min value, max value, size, whether the missing value present or not, or checks on unique values, essentially ensuring that whatever data is being fed, there are a set of validation rules through which it passes before it goes into the feature store and source for all the machine learning jobs which are downstream. This is what feature store is about. It enables us to ensure that high quality data is being fed over here. Here we can see the success percent is 100%. That means all the data that is being fed, it meets the expectation which were set against the data. And now summarizing to what Physarum Feature Store is about, it essentially manages features as software assets. It is a layer between the data engineer creating the data engineering pipelines and the data scientist using the features which were created through those pipelines. It basically brings all these pieces together into one concept. Next is what benefit it provides. It creates a shared catalog, and the feature transformation and training data set which was created across projects and teams can be reused. The next thing is, like as we said before, that the hard problem machine learning is about time taken to create a training data set. That process becomes much faster by using a feature store. Now, if you look into the market of a feature store in operational ML space, it is still a very new market. There are very few companies who are basically providing enterprise ML solution in this space. One of them is Tecton, which recently got funded Series A and even Series B a few days back. And also AWS launched their feature store probably a week back. If you look into the overall trend of the market, it is not something which is very novel. Like big tech companies like Facebook had Physarum, which had a feature store inbuilt. Similarly, Uber had something similar like Missionango, and then Spotify and various other companies like building ML platform. Feature store is a very crucial building block of that. And now this is more of a cross-vertical pattern, which is various other companies like Walmart, Flipkart, Spotify, they all are building their own internal ML platform, and Feature Store is a essential element in all these platforms. Yeah, that is all we had for Physarum Feature Store.